Hi everyone. Thank you for being patient with me. I finally have completed another book. So I am going to do a book review for you all. But first I just wanted to, give you my spiel of what's been going on. I am still in lovely Costa Rica, as you can see. I've been busy. Your girl's been busy. I went back to the States for my birthday and that was wonderful. Had a very great time, so I'll upload some pictures and videos from that. But other than that, I have been doing my thing over here. So let me get into this book review real quick. This book that I have been reading. I've had it for at least a year now, but I just want to say that I've been wanting to read more books that have Black leads to it, and even watching shows and movies that have Black leads to it. I love the fantasy genre of books, so I've been wanting to read more books that have that and Black characters in it. So this book is called Blood Like Magic, and it is written by Liselle Sambury, and her character is Black. So I'm going to show you what the book looks like, but I'm going to also put up the actual cover for it. Don't judge me. I treat books very well, but this one has been through, and I'm not going to lie. I've read it like on the beach. I've read it traveling. I've read it in as a substitute teacher. Like I've read it in so many different places. So it looks a little crazy. I'm not going to lie. So Blood Like Magic. I'm going to make sure that it pops up and appears so you can see what it actually looks like. I really appreciated that the author did was she put a trigger warning in this book. A lot of people or authors don't have trigger warnings in their book, and I think that it is very necessary. I read a book a couple months ago and they did not have a trigger warning, and I was not prepared for what they were talking about in that book. So I was just like, oh no, this is not okay. But I will read the trigger warning just in case you guys are wanting to pick up the book. So it says, as much as this novel is set in the future, it also discusses the past and still affected by topics that permeate our present. Some of these discussions, while important, can be triggering, and as such, it's vital to me that you are aware of these topics before reading. Content warnings: whipping scene within the context of slavery, gun/police violence, discussion of and character with an eating disorder, blood, gore, violence, death, substance abuse, addiction, mentions of child neglect. So like I said, I really do appreciate that she put that in the beginning of the book so you can know what you are getting into. But I want to say that each of these topics, I felt like she handled it very gently. She did not describe too much detail to make it like something that made me feel triggered, but for somebody else it might be a little bit different. But I felt like as the author wrote all of those different things that she did it with care. So just let you know. Okay, so let's get into the synopsis of Blood Like Magic. So we have a witch named Voya, so in this world, the witches don't get their powers until after they've completed their calling. So their calling is an assignment that is given to them from an ancestor. So she's 16 years old. She received her calling. Like it literally starts out with the day of her getting her calling. So everybody's kind of like, very excited and stuff for her. Her other siblings, family members have their powers, so she's just been waiting to see what she is able to do. Voya is a cook. She loves cooking. She takes care of people. She's a very good daughter, sister, cousin, all of that. She receives her calling from an ancestor that nobody's ever had before. I believe her name is Mama Jova, and this ancestor is a little brutal compared to all the other ones. So at first nobody was concerned because they're like, oh yeah, you got your calling. But then when they saw who the ancestor that she got for her calling, they were like, oh, damn. Mama Jova gives her an assignment, and the assignment is that she must destroy her first love. So Voya has not been in love. She's not married. She doesn't even know this person, who it is, but now she's being tasked with having to kill this person. She ends up obviously finding somebody that she, cares for a lot and loves. So the entire book is about her basically trying to make a decision for him, if she's going to kill him or not. I want to say that it was dragged on for a long time. Like, she did not make this decision until probably the last 2 chapters of this book. So I appreciated the magical aspects of this book, but something that took me a long time to get through was the storyline. So I don't know if it got to me because sometimes I have a hard time making a decision on what path I want to go to. So maybe that's why I was so frustrated with her, because she would, like I said, the whole book, she did not know what decision that she wanted to make. But then when she would make a decision about something, it would be such a bad decision. Sometimes I was just like, Voya, what are you doing? Like, who would make that decision? Who would decide that? Also, something else was there were a lot of characters in this book. I feel like I would have liked for the author to include a family tree into the book. So I can go back and say, oh, this is so-and-so's cousin, or this is that person's like related to this person by marriage, and different things like that, because there were a lot of names that were thrown out of there that I was like, who is this again? That made the storyline a little bit confusing too. And then there were just some off things that I feel like it did not connect until the end, but even the connection at the end, it wasn't strong enough to make me go like, oh, that's why I read about this one storyline for about 6 chapters, So things were a little bit unorganized, I'm not gonna lie, but I still, read it. And like I said, I appreciated the magic. I appreciated the detail as far as her describing her living in Canada. A lot of the things that she was saying, the places that she was going seemed to be very factual and true, so you can envision it. One other thing that I did not really like too much, that a lot of authors do, that I'm like, can we get past this, is the love interest. Why is it that the love interest, no matter what book I'm reading, I feel like the guy is always like some standoffish, cold type person, and the girl is like, yes, I love him. And it's like, in what world would we like this rude ass dude? So Luke is the character that she falls in love with, and at first he is a jerk, and the whole beginning is about how he's a jerk. So it did not make me like him, and it didn't make me want her to like him. Of course, he got a little bit softer in time after being around her, but it still wasn't enough. Authors, let's stop doing that, okay? Let's get a character that is like, no wonder why this person fell for this person, because he is charismatic, because he is charming, because he's a gentleman, devotes himself to her. I would like to see that. That would make me be like, oh, she definitely is gonna have a hard time trying to figure out if she's gonna kill him or not. What I was seeing, I was just like, So overall, I would give this book probably a 3 out of 5. It's because, like I said, character development was a little off, and it was a bit confusing about who was doing what and why this person mattered at the time that they were presented. And I think just the entire time Voya trying to make a decision was just way too much. Something that I did really like was, like I said, the magic. So she introduced, there's witches that were doing pure magic, and there was witches that were doing impure magic. So they would have, different practices and stuff for that. So I did like hearing about that. But yeah, overall, I would just give it a 3 out of 5. Now, I do know that she has a second book, so there is a sequel, because how it ended, I was like, you got to give me a little bit more. I believe instead of getting a physical book for the second one, I would be willing to listen to it through audio. So that might help me engage with the book or the storyline more. I'll listen to the audio, and I'll do a review on the audio as well. Also, I do know that the author had mentioned making a TV show out of this. I think a TV show would be more beneficial than a movie. Like I said, there's a lot of detail into this book, and I think more of it can be expressed and explained. So that is a reason why I want to, listen to the second book, because I'm all about it. I will support any Black author. I still enjoyed it, but there were just some things that was a little rocky for me. But I'm hoping that the second book will pick up and take off, since she already made the decision and things like that. So we'll see. But I just want to thank you all for listening to my book review for Blood Like Magic by Liselle Sambury. What books are you guys reading? What's happening? What's going on with that? Are you reading books? I know that things are kind of crazy and stuff right now, but maybe getting into a fantasy might do you some good. So again, I don't mistreat my books. This one has been through it. I hope you guys enjoyed the book review. Love you all, and I will see you soon.